Is it rolling now?
Hi guys!
Hello.
Did we used to have like an intro thing?
No.
안녕하세요 or nothing like that?
Hi.
Oh my gosh, do you still remember us?
The last video is around 1 year ago.
Almost one
Yeah.
year ago. It was like end of March, I think. Sorry. You might be wondering what happened to them? Where have they been? Are they alive?
True. Last video from Bathurst, right?
Yeah, like totally different city and lifestyle routine. Were they bitten by a dangerous snake in Australia? Who knows?
Or big spider.
Oh my gosh. We're here to kind of give you a rundown of all that happened to us last year because a lot happened.
A lot.
So much. I guess that's why we stopped uploading videos on the channel. I think if you follow us on Instagram, you saw that we moved from Bathurst to Bundaberg. But
Bundy.
yeah, but since we moved, we haven't shared anything.
What happened to us?
Yeah. I guess our routine changed so much and so many things changed in our lives, and we went through so many downs first to then get to the ups. We just had to focus, our minds and all of our energy on what we wanted for that season, and we ended up not having enough time to film or edit. And we're sorry about that. We would love to keep you guys all updated as we go on, but we're here. We're back. I had to make like a long list of some of the things that happened to us. It's not everything. I had to filter. Some of these things are really spicy.
Spicy.
Or very sweet and sour. So we can definitely make separate videos on certain topics if you guys want to hear more about the crazy stories that we've done.
I have any.
So I guess where we left off was we decided to move from Bathurst
To Bundy.
to Bundy.
Because we keep applying the job and we couldn't find, and we wanted to extend our visa for second year, but there's not much job.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Nada.
Actually, you got the job, but
Well, you did too. Long story short, we kept applying. We stayed in Bathurst for 1 month, and every day we applied to at least 2 different jobs. Because our goal was to extend the visa, we only needed to work 3 months with whichever company we got. So we wanted to do it together just to keep track of like the same amount of hours, same amount of days worked.
easy to manage.
Yeah, but he got offered a job in a company, I got offered a job in a different company, and it wouldn't work out. First of all, we didn't even have cars. Everything is so far away if you're walking, so it would be easier if we could go together, maybe get a taxi, or we had the bikes, right? But yeah, we couldn't find a job for the both of us. And then kept looking and looking and looking. If you know about the working holiday visa, you already know that, but if you have no idea, it's valid for 1 year, and then if you want to renew it for the second year, you need to do 3 months of work in a rural area, like countryside. That could be at a farm, at a factory, which was what we were looking for. Even construction, mining. We had to do 3 months of that work, and that's why we went to Bathurst, because it was rural.
And it's close to Sydney. After 3 months, we wanted to
Go back to Sydney.
Sydney, yeah.
That didn't work. Yeah, we got the job opportunity in Bundaberg
It was strawberry farm.
through a Korean lady.
We found out from Korean community side. They actually find a share house for us and offered the job. But what happened?
Yeah, when we moved to Bundy, the initial plan was to work at a strawberry farm. And we thought, it's no big deal. We only have to do it for 3 months, and then we can stay until 2025. So then we can just move to a bigger city and do the job that we really want to do. So we went because we had nothing to lose. So.
And we drove 16 hours
We had to stop.
in a random city.
Yeah, we had to stop at night at a random city, and we stayed at a hotel that I guess had more insects than guests. It was like full of mosquitoes. I was so disgusted. It was part of the journey. One thing that I wrote down is that we couldn't bring our bikes. You probably saw that on our Instagram. It just didn't fit in the car trunk.
We just rocked the parking area and posted on Marketplace.
And we put like a pin, and then if someone was interested, they could send us the money, and then we could send them what the pin code was for the lock. They could take it, and it worked. Good idea. It was his idea. On the way to Bundy, we saw so many dead kangaroos. I guess it's a thing here. So sad. And when we got to Bundy, we were staying at this shared house, and to our surprise, the room was so dirty.
So dirty.
It was covered in dust, from the ceiling fan to the blinds to like the carpet and the bed. Oh my god, I thought, can we go back now?
Share house owner say, I cleaned for you guys.
No, you didn't. It was so disgusting. Maybe you guys don't know, but Australia is going through a housing crisis right now. So it's really hard to get a place like just for us. So it's really common for backpackers to stay in shared houses. So usually you have your own room, and then you might share the bathroom with another room, and then you share the kitchen and everything. And then at 5 a.m. the next day, we were on our way to our first date at the strawberry farm.
How was it?
We can definitely make a separate video on that because it's just too much, but it was like slavery. It was horrible. We had to plant the strawberry tree. So our back was like so sore, and the sprinklers kept throwing water at us while we were working, and then there was no lunch break. We worked for like 9 to 10 hours with no lunch break. There was no toilet. No toilet. And like if we wanted to drink some of our water, everything was dirty because and oh my gosh, it was horrible.
Also, the payment was less than the minimum wage.
Yeah, they promised us a really high pay, and then at the end of the day, we were like some of the worst planters.
They announced the rank.
No, I'm Gabby. We got paid less than minimum wage. That was crazy. Like we were working like slaves and not getting paid.
It was piecework, so whatever you do, you get the pay. But
Yeah, we thought we were getting paid hourly, but it was actually piecework. That means you get paid based on how many trees you plant, not really like how long you're working, which is horrible. So guess what? We quit that job after 3 days.
3 days.
Because we read the contract again, and it said that if you worked for 3 consecutive days and you got paid less than minimum wage as an average, then you could quit. So we had to wait until the 3rd day, otherwise we would have quit after the 1st day because we were so dead.
We were just waiting the 3 days.
Yeah, we quit. It was a whole drama with the Korean lady that hired us. Even though we did everything right on our quitting process, like she was just such a hard person to deal with, but that's another video if you guys want. At that point, we had been in Australia for how long? Like
2 months.
Yeah, and no jobs, no income. It was a really hard time because we were using all of our savings. We couldn't really at that point see like the light at the end of the tunnel. It was just very scary.
Because our monies ran out. So do we need to go on the streets? Live on the street? It was tough time.
Yeah, in April, exactly when we moved and when we disappeared, we were seriously considering maybe even going back to Brazil or back to Korea. Our parents knew everything that was going on, and they were like, come back, come back. And we were crying and desperate. It was a really hard time. And on our first Sunday in Bundy, we found our new church.
Living Word Church.
Yeah, which was amazing. I feel like it was what we needed at that time. When we had nothing, we still had God, and we had a community, and we had a place to serve the Lord and be reminded of God's love and care for us. That was really good. We immediately loved the community, got involved. Fun fact is that we were the youngest couple in the church. I would say the average age there is about 50.
50 to 60 maybe.
So we were like the youngsters, but everyone received us so well. We were really welcomed. Every Tuesday we started to help Harvest Kitchen, which is like
Help the charity.
charity organization within the church. So we prepare about 100 meals, and some of them go to a park for the homeless people, and some of them stay in the church, and then people can stop by, pick up their meals for their family. And it was a really good time spent because we got to help the community, and through helping them we were also helped, because at that time we were counting our pennies, can we survive in Australia? And our team actually gave us the meals too. So we had a whole stock in our fridge with the meals ready to go. It was so nice.
It was really helped to save money at that time.
We had no jobs, just helping at church, serving at church. We served on the worship team, was singing, and
I was sound tech.
had you ever done that before?
Never.
It was amazing, guys. He learned from zero. He was trained to be a sound technician, and everyone is so proud of Noah because he learned so fast. Amazing.
Actually, the leader Carl, he teaching me so well. So it was
We loved them,
real.
Carl and Beck. They helped us so much. We learned so much from their lives. Really good family. Oh, on a random Sunday, while we still had no jobs, we had a guest couple that was preaching at church. His wife was leading the worship that weekend, and she sang "Let It Rain."
Let it rain.
Let it rain, open the floodgates of heaven. So that's what we're singing at church. Service ends, we're heading home. We unlocked the door. And mind you, our place is like a 2-story house, so all the rooms are upstairs. Downstairs is just the kitchen and the living room area.
Housemate, bring the basket.
Yeah, running with a bucket, and one of the lights downstairs is flooding with water, and the whole downstairs is flooded. And they're like, help, help. And I'm like, what happened? We just came from church. Are you guys okay? And she's like, the pipe in your bathroom just burst, and it was the hot water pipe.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. I was like, that's not the rain I was expecting. It was crazy. We almost had to move out, all of us, and the carpet upstairs was completely flooded. I'll add some footage there so you guys can see how hard it was to dry. Oh my gosh. We had to flip the bed, and it was such a bad smell. The wood in the bathroom got swollen.
Mold.
Yeah, mold. Oh my
goodness.
It was a nightmare.
And then finally, we got the job.
After 1 month in Bundy, the job came, guys. It was such a blessing and such a breath of fresh air to be able to just calm down and realize that things are starting to go well, and we're starting to get out of the pit.
The shift was very stable. Also, the task wasn't that hard.
Yeah. That job allowed us to renew our visa, but it was not in the farm. It was at a macadamia factory, so it was pretty chill. We were not in the sun. We were not planting macadamias. We were in the AC. It was so cold. We had work every day. We were paid hourly, and we had so many benefits. Every 3 months, our pay went up. By that you can tell we stayed longer than 3 months. It was just good. Initially we were getting paid about $27 an hour, Australian dollars. And when we left the job,
It's around 29.
29 or 30 $30 an hour. It was really good. I was just sorting macadamias, the ones that have a little bit of shell go in this bucket, the good ones go in this bucket. Really easy, a little bit boring, But we got some muffs that we could listen to podcasts and worship music and just get distracted. But it allowed us to renew our visa, which was amazing and exactly what we prayed. Factory job, not farm. We were not getting wet under the sun. It's lovely.
And then close to our wedding anniversary, what did we get?
Oh my gosh, I think the video is already too long. I guess we'll stop it here and then come back with part 2. Otherwise, it will be too long and boring. You guys can take a break from hearing our voices. And we'll come back with part 2 on a separate video. Is that okay? Please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're curious about anything that we've mentioned in this part of the video, please let us know in the comments and we're happy to come back with another video more in deep. See you!